All right, guys, this is the Goblet Box Squat. So you want to think about having your rib cage down in a neutral spine, and you want to control yourself. You're not going to just drop and come right back up like most people do in a squat. Very controlled movement. Even though there's not a tempo on this, you don't want to just collapse down and up. Really focus on holding yourself in a good spot. So if we watch Tyler here, he's using an 8 kilo kettlebell, which is a good weight for most people to start with. You can use a 7 or 5 kilo plate if that helps you. You just don't want anything that's going to pull you too far forward. So Tyler's using an 8 kilo kettlebell, which really he should have that sucker just a little bit closer to his chest. But for him, he felt more comfortable with it out, which is okay. So when what you're looking for here is you want to use a box, chair, bench, whatever it is that gets you about parallel, if not a little bit below parallel in that squat. And we're not going to come down to the box and sink into it. We're just going to tap it and come right back up, holding everything in the same exact position. So notice how close Tyler is to the chair. He's pretty darn close, which is exactly what you want to do. Because if he was any further away, which is what we struggled with before we took this video, is when he was too far away, his butt was like seeking out the chair. He couldn't find where it was, so he's letting that butt shoot out to find the chair because didn't think he was close enough, which he wasn't. So by moving yourself a little bit closer to it, it makes it easier to just come straight down and right back up without really having to search for it. Okay? So when you're getting yourself set, ribs down, neutral spine. So notice where his back is. So he gets himself set. He gets his brace, so you can see his shirt kind of move a little bit here. He pulls himself from here, tightens that in. See how he pulls that rib cage down? Awesome. And then from here, he's going to lower himself down, trying to hold that neutral spine. So watch how awesome that is. So when he gets closer, he lets himself come just a little bit forward, which is okay. So you see here the shoulder moves just a little bit more forward because what he's doing is he's trying to hold his rib cage down as he comes in this position and not letting his chest just completely lead the way. He's letting everything stay together. And then from here, you see how he just sits? He just taps it and he uses his legs to drive right back up. So he stays in a very nice plane here as he goes through this position. Now he came into it, so he came out of it, and you can see he like completely reset himself, which is totally cool to do. Okay, so if we go back and watch this again, watch how we stay in this plane. Very, very minimal movement, which is exactly what we want to do. So when you're doing this, really focus on those feet pushing through the floor. Have those guys secured to the ground. So see how his feet are really, really flat against the floor. He's got a lot of pressure going down, which is good because we want to use those legs to drive us in these positions without sacrificing his upper body position. When you're going through this, if you feel yourself flaring up, like you feel yourself arching or really struggling to keep that rib cage down in any spots, most of the time that rib cage will want to flare once you pass parallel. Once you start to get here, a lot of times that rib cage will want to flare because you're not used to keeping it down in a squat position. Most people want to have a big chest and keep that chest up. Well, when you do that, that sacrifices this mid back, which means that rib cage comes up, which is not what we want to do. Very neutral spine. We want to have pressure through here, which means we have a flat back. So if you feel yourself struggling with that, get a taller box. And get a box that puts you above parallel. I mean, we're not going to do a quarter squat, but something a little bit above parallel and start with that. And then lower the weight a little bit if you have to as well. Make the different adjustments that you need to do. So then every single time, just kind of get yourself reset and really focus on just straight down and straight back up with very minimal movement in that plane.